Hey there, everyone. This is DelVecchio, and I wanted to continue with my conversation or my shares about the acceleration of the ascension process that is underway and some further insights on symptoms and some suggestions or reflections on how to navigate, how to deal with the incoming light and the incoming disruption to our consciousness, to our lives, as this light stirs to the surface all those things that used to be buried. So today I want to talk about the ego. And I want to talk about the ego in a specific framework or specific way, which is the ego as the part of our minds that is perceives itself as separate from everything else, separate from each other, separate from our creator, separate from love. Now, we have lived in a world for who knows how long, maybe always, or maybe this earth plane, over a bunch of thousands of years or something, where the ego has had a full reign, let's say, to create a world deeply steeped in this separation consciousness. Separation is the default setting here. And because of that, or at least at this time on the planet, I mean, there's the whole concept of the cycles of time, that there have been times on this earth where we've lived in a golden age and things may have been different. But if we have memories of that, they're of a very remote past. So when I speak about the world as it is now, I'm speaking about the world as it is now, where the ego has full reign, where the I am, which is actually a statement of command of who we are as the eternal divine self, the soul self connected with our divinity, becomes diminished into this very puny little construct that is the ego. So the ego is the aspect of our mind that believes we are separate, that believes that we must protect ourselves and defend ourselves against all the other others out there. And the default setting of the ego is separate. And so what we are seeing unfold in our personal lives and en masse is all of the material that's been beneath the surface, the shadow material, the constructs of the ego mind, the belief in separation. So one of the things I've noticed for myself, and I'll be really interested to hear from you, so please do give me feedback, share your experience, is that despite, or maybe because of all of the spiritual work I do to be in alignment with Source, to remember that I am one with each and every one of you, I'm one with all that is, the ego is actually pushing harder, perhaps at times, to maintain its identity as a separate being, when actually it is basically just a parasite of my mind, which is one with God. So let me give you some specific examples here to help illustrate this and to also support you if you're undergoing this as well. Because the ego mind is sorting for separate, sorting for difference, it looks for things to judge, looks for things to attack, looks for problems, and looks for dissatisfaction. So in my life, I live a life that is very close to what I had wanted it to be. Is there more that I could create and do? Yes, of course there is. But when I consider my life, I'm very grateful for my life. I have love, I have reasonably good health, I have relative peacefulness, and yet the ego would like nothing more than to look at the craziness going on the planet. So it scrolls through YouTube videos. Am I doing it? Yes, I'm doing it. I'm doing it when the ego is in charge, when the ego is in the driver's seat. Do I wake up sometimes and all of a sudden find things to be dissatisfied about? Yes, that's the ego. So one of the things that I'm starting to do, that's why I'm making this video, to share it with you, because if it serves you, then please, by all means, use this, apply this, is that when I find my mind wandering into dissatisfaction, worry, stress, doubt, judgment, instead of just letting it go off on its tangent, I'm beginning to say to myself, that's just my ego mind. That's my split mind, the part of the mind that's split off from my God lights, from my eternity, from the love that I am. And by doing that, it's a little bit like putting a pin in a balloon. It just loses its steam. So as we continue this ascension journey, we are going to continue to have many energies that stir up the ego to maintain its separateness through attack, judgment, ennui, disappointment, telling old stories about what didn't work and why it didn't work, justification for why we need to keep maintaining attack thoughts toward so-and-so or such and such. It's triggered because it's near the end of its existence. The light coming in is revealing the shadow in our individual lives and in the collective. And it's revealing the shadow in our order to heal it, clear it, up-level it, transmute it. But the ego would much prefer to stand in judgment against it, to wag its finger at it, or to be terrorized by it, or to cower in the corner because of these shadows. And all of that is the ego's effort to stay alive and to keep us in the split mind and to keep repeating the old timelines of separation. So our job as those who are at what I would consider to be the leading edge of the ascension journey, not to put anyone else down, it's not that. This is actually a challenging role to be in, to be at the leading edge. Our job is to recognize, oh, I'm seeing more shadow revealed in my personal life. What is called for here? Not the ego cowering in the corner, saying how everything is so bad and going to hell in a handbasket. Not the ego judging and thinking it better than that. No, what's called for is forgiveness. What's called for is, oh, there's more shadow that needs to be witnessed. Perhaps there are feelings there that need to be felt in order to love it up into a higher frequency. That is what is needed. Again, at the collective level and at the personal level. Look, there is plenty that's being revealed now as we are in this disclosure of what's been hidden part of the timeline of ascension. There's plenty for us to be pissed off about. There's plenty for us to be indignant about. But the question is, for us all to ask ourselves is, does my indignation over what I've just discovered about what's really going on actually serve us? Yes, we can have those feelings. There's nothing wrong with having the feelings. Feelings are feelings. We have to feel them. And then we have to say, right. So should I get on the bandwagon of self-righteous indignation? Should I get on the bandwagon of panic prepping? Should I get on the bandwagon of anything else that creates more divisiveness? Or is this a call for love? And of course, you know what my answer is, right? I argue that everything, as aligned with A Course in Miracles, everything is either an expression of love or a call for love. And so, this is our opportunity to see the shadows emerge in our personal lives, the things that we haven't felt, the things that we haven't acknowledged, the things that we have undermined in ourselves, all of this stuff. Each person's individual life experience, lived experience, will be different. And to witness in the collective and to feel the feels around that and to say, right, how do I up-level this now? Do I choose to permit the ego to continue to go into its storylines, its efforts toward continued separation? Or do I choose love instead? And that is our test. I feel like this is our graduation test, ultimately. So then this sort of begs the question, like, you can be listening to me and going, right, Dawn, that makes total sense. We have to choose love instead. We have to pour love into this instead. But how? How do I do that when I'm so traumatized over something that I've been through? How do I do that when I've just realized what's going on? How do I do that when I see more and more abuse of children, of lies on the media, of whatever it is that triggers you? How do I do that when I wake up every morning in a panic of anxiety? So that's the question of the hour. That's the $25 million question. And that is why we have many, many tools available to us at this time that have been brought forward over many years. As you know, I'm a student of A Course in Miracles. We also know there are the radical forgiveness practice. There's EFT tapping to calm the central nervous system. There's many, many modalities. And what I would like to share with you just to conclude this video for today is, of course, the upcoming weekend online healing retreat that my sister priestess friend and I will be conducting, called Freedom Through Forgiveness. And this weekend intensive is recorded, so you can be there live. We'd love to have you live, but of course, if you can't, you can't. And we have created a sliding scale price point structure that allows anyone to attend, literally. And we are bringing the best of the principles of A Course in Miracles, the practices of radical forgiveness, the actual processes that will help you move through even the most stubborn, difficult things to forgive, so that you can be more free, so that you can elevate your own frequency in order to be the light that you wish to see in this world. Excuse me. Excuse me. I am so moved by the power of forgiveness and what it has done for me in my own life, that it literally kind of chokes me up that I get the opportunity to share this with others. So I want to invite you to check that out. We do have people signing on right now. I think this is going to be a real contribution to the elevation of the frequency of this planet. And of course, we're not the only forgiveness practitioners on the planet. There are many. But if you relate to my message, and if you are struggling with any kind of egoic constructs that are keeping you down in the lower frequencies of 3D, that are keeping you struggling in any way, shape, or form, then Freedom Through Forgiveness is an unprecedented opportunity for you to elevate your own frequency, to be at the leading edge of this ascension journey, to be free and more liberated from the things you've struggled with, and to do it at a price point and at a time frame that works for you. So you can check the link below and just have a quick look at what we're promising and offering and our invitation to you. And you can also, if you're just listening to this, you want to go to returnofthepriestess.com/freedom. Because this is the time for us to become free of the ego's low frequency efforts to keep us in separation, judgment, fear, stress, anxiety, all of those things that no longer serve us. It is time for us to rise in the light of love, and we can do that together. We can lift as we rise. And Freedom Through Forgiveness is one of these opportunities that I'm extending to you now. So please have a look at that. May you feel the peace that surpasseth understanding when you are free of the ego bossing you around. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much for being here with me for this and for this ascension journey that we are on together. Many blessings. Mwah. Bye for now.